Am I allowed to move boys?
Right?
Look, I'm allowed to say by my large move boys, aren't I?
You are.
Would you rather say by my exquisite movers?
I'm not saying anything about
By
it.
my exquisite movers?
I'm not saying anything about it.
I am.
Oh god, you started streaming. It
Oh
scared
my
me.
god, what is this about? Why are you not in full screen? There we go. What are you doing to me, game? You're driving me insane. When I don't want to full screen you, you're more than happy to get up in my face, and then when I do want to full screen you, you're more than happy to get the hell away from me. What are you doing? Filing a complaint? You can't do that. I won't have a restraining order put on me. Okay, let's do some quests. Then get lost. I kind of like this game for that reason alone. I don't like how they're hidden the stats. It's really awkward to get calculations and whatnot. But the actual aesthetic, I mean, although arguably it's beneficial to do that, but it's not beneficial if you intend to be playing on top end. It's most definitely not. But it is beneficial for the casual player because it means you can't focus too heavily on that aspect. I really wish I could put my hood up using the change visor, but I don't think I can.
No, you can't.
I wish I could. Can you with your outfit or no?
No.
Oh, I'd love to just for the aesthetic value.
No, you have to have a helmet like that person.
Yeah, I imagine it's like knights helmets.
Yeah.
This cool boy. I might mess with like, change your visor. I want to see it. I'm gonna grab his crotch.
Look, they have a little, I don't know, is that...
Let's just check this guy. Let's get really close and make him feel really uncomfortable and look at him like, oh, you.
No, thank you.
I'm looking at you level 23 morose canvy.
You're level 24.
Yeah, how dare they?
No, you're level 24.
I know, how dare they?
What's wrong with it?
A lot of things, a lot of things. Let's just go this way, shall we?
Let's go do the main quest.
No, I don't need to be abused by the likes of you.
But I'm not.
Is this even the correct way? Let's find out.
It kind of is.
So we're going to East Shroud, okay.
East Shroud.
We could just
Wait,
teleport
no,
there.
go back.
What's up?
Oh yeah, we can.
I don't want
Let's
to,
just do
because
that.
it costs me money. I haven't got that much gold. I've been spending
I'll
a
give
vast
you
amount of
gold.
gold upgrading professions like fishing and whatnot. I refuse.
Come here, I'll give you the gold.
No, don't be lazy. We're walking there using our own legs, Wildles. We were given these legs by
We
God,
could've done the
quotation
boat.
marks, and as
We could
such.
go back and get the boat though.
No.
It's free.
No.
It's free.
No.
Oof.
Nope. No. No. I'll beat you there anyway, watch. I'll actually beat you there with running, most likely.
I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. Oh, that way.
Yeah, it is literally just that way, it's a straight line. Well,
I'm directionally challenged.
oh my god, that laugh is awful. Jesus Christ, it's like a witch.
I did creep a girl out in school with how I laughed.
Also, you're just creepy as hell, like, I need to, like, promote you to a black mage eventually.
No, I'm white mage, I heal.
Oh, now being racist, are we? Oh, God.
No, I'm a healer.
Some people. Some
No.
fucking people.
No.
Alright, enough of this pointless drivel. Back on task.
I'm a healer and I heal you.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. The famous quote of the last.
I am a lover, not a fighter.
That's okay, you can cuddle our enemies to death, can't you?
Yeah, just squeeze them real tight and then
Do you remember the name for that major villain? I'm really not familiar with his name. Yeah, when we first got the quest to go onto the airship as an description, we end up seeing like a glimpse of those particularly fancy, I suppose the term would be fancy, maybe, was it grand? Those grand warriors with all the metal armour on. Yeah, and he ends up killing that spy. I wish I knew their name. We also got a glimpse when we were fighting Ingrid, or whether it was Igrid, the primal. I feel like those, Let's give him a hug. I see now the error of my ways. You're secretly lonely because of a hug. He goes, oh, you're right. How did I not see the error of my ways?
Crying. It's just like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean you.
I swear I've gone the wrong way. Let me just check my map quick.
You did. You
Did I?
did.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you're
have to
right.
go
Oh, it's
down.
over there. I see.
Yeah.
I'll get there eventually. Make my own way there.
You just get them a pet cat and it's like, here you go, have a friend.
Got a friend in me.
You've got a friend in me.
Yes, Les. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Yes.
Your voice, now I think that your voice really does sound very reminiscent of a 10-year-old boy.
I do. I sound like a 5-year-old boy.
It's turning you down. You're extremely loud. Give me a second.
I told you I sound like a 5-year-old boy.
How are you so loud? Like, God. Can you try and move your microphone slightly further back? Because I think you're rather loud. I like how you're being murdered on the way there.
Yep, I'm just going away. I don't want to wait.
Oh, look, an airship.
Oh my, it's the crewman.
Let me pilot the airship. I can fly it, I promise.
No thank you.
Yeah. Gall gnat. I'm gonna zoom in and get a better look at your face. Oh, but we have to leave the party for this quest line as well. Goodbye, Leslie. I'm entering the instance. This is the end.
No, it's weird. I can't do it because I'm getting attacked.
Oh my god. What was that sound? Oh wow, it's just a random creature walking across the local area.
Wait, don't spoil it for me.
Okay, fine.
There you go, I can finally go on.
I seriously hope this voice acting in Stormblood.
I don't know.
Oh, my faith in our opponent's ability to use our eyes is now dwindled.
Why?
You'll see.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm so out of breath running that whole like 30 foot.
Seeing my character next to the crewman is just like really small person, really small person.
Oh my god, I love the elves hats, like Jesus. It's like full leather caps that look like a total bunch of peasants. What's that? Is that someone's wearing like a strange chest piece where it's like one side's like a leather area guarding one of their breasts? It's like, what, does one of your breasts weigh more than the other?
Yeah, sometimes they have.
Do you need some extra support for your one heavy breast? Like he's like, yeah, I've been working out my left of my body way too much. I'm like, really prove it, to tense it. It just snaps the leather. I'm like, whoa, Jesus Christ! Like, flex it, you know, work that show.
It's really funny because, like, you know the crewman person?
Oh, let me
Like,
watch the
their hand
cutscene
is the
first.
size of my face. Okay. Oh my god. Those hats.
They're brilliant. What are you talking about?
No, they're awful.
That's it. It's like Robin Hood and a bunch of peasants. I have taken from the poor and given it to the rich. That's why they're poor.
It's the other way around.
That's a dirty soul. You have to help him. Oh, but I don't want to.
Who says that?
No, it's me interpreting the expression that the character had.
Oh. Oh no, small one.
Hiding.
Oh, it's a small one.
An ambush? What do you mean an ambush? It's not an ambush considering you just attacked something which doesn't belong to you. It's more of a retaliation than ambush. Oh my god, they came to defend it. What a surprise.
The tiny bronco.
Oh, I choose the wrong ability. That's what. I need to adjust the sound settings. Like Jesus, it's very loud. Can you check the audio for me, please, Wadlas? Oh my god, he's been healed. Imperial and Magnifier. Well, Imperial in Magnifier. You're next. I should have focused him down first as soon as healing is out. Yeah, check the audio when you get a chance. I need to make sure like you can't hear me breathing on the microphone because that'd be quite negative. You can't hear me?
No, you can't hear me.
At all?
At all.
What the hell's that about? And maybe I have to set up a channel that go to Skype. Oh, bear with me, I can't hear anything. It's so loud. Oh my god, there's a mech here as well. Okay. Okay, say again, please. What was it?
I'm there, but I'm really quiet.
You're really quiet.
Yeah.
Why now?
Hey, I'm waiting.
Wait, what? Tell me if you're too loud. I believe I might have turned it up too much. And now they'll be dominated by the wild layers. Timid, but dominating.
No,
Two words you never thought would be attached together in a sentence.
they aren't.
They are right now.
Yeah, a little too loud.
I knew it. Right now.
Okay.
I hate this is one thing which I could cut out. I'm sure there's a way of testing before I go live.
I have no idea.
Must be. I demand to know.
Yeah.
Well, come back here, Vanguard. Don't you run away from me, boy. Let me give you the spear. I'm gonna thrust at you angrily.
That doesn't sound nice.
I'm not a nice person. I'm here for justice. I'm all about justice.
Moofus. The Moofus.
Did you check the audio sound?
I did.
You're fine now.
It's good.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Come on, come back here. It's like running away from me. It's like, oh, I've got to get away from you. It's like runs like 10 steps and casts an ability and runs away again. Like,
Oh my god.
You can't catch me if I run away, right? It's like, no.
They can't hurt me if I run.
I'm so scared. Stop saying ability. Oh, they caught up with me. He's like not figured out how it works.
I have to fight people.
I mean, cutscene shush. I've got an onion haircut on this small olive. Oh. I saw him in a cabbage patch. I'd think it's an onion.
Just
Hey, look,
hiding
it's an
in the
onion, but it's brown. This must have been one of those weird, fancy white onions I've heard so much about.
White onions?
Yeah, you've got white and red onions, don't you?
I don't know, I don't like onions.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
No, not you. I mean, no, I meant yes, it is white and red onions, not yes, you do. As in, you go like them now, Leslie. Force them on your mouth. Have a bite. Tell me what you think.
I don't like them. I already told you.
Look, they're delicious. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to crunch them once in a little while.
No, thank you.
Look, just give in to your desire. Eat the onions.
I don't have any desire to eat onions.
I do. Now feed me them.
I'll feed you them.
Think on,
That's
you've
a really
heard of
long
feeding
fork.
grapes to someone. Now you're feeding me onions.
I'll just feed you it on a really long fork.
That sounds awful. Imagine trying to eat with that at your regular table. Just cut your giant fork out. Try and swing it around to your mouth. Like, oh wait, it's behind me. Whoops. I have to pull it forward a
You
bit.
have to like pull it all the way back and you're like, oh yes, and you smack someone in the head with it.
just open your window out using the same handle.
So yeah, it's a bit chilly in here.
Oh my
now.
god, it's a bit gusty, isn't it? Like the wind blows so your onion falls off. No! Oh wait, I've got a long fork. It brings it forward and just, jabs it like a spear.
It just falls out the window.
What? How? How would it get to the window?
'Cause
By
you
a
go
freak
like
turn
that,
of
it just
events, I've
flies
spun
back.
around a full 180 degrees and it's out the window.
You go like that and it just flies backwards and out the window.
I mean, you've triggered some nostalgia for me. I know there was like a weird game I played a long time ago on Steam called Long Live the Princess, and you literally fall out the window and die.
Oh god.
Yeah, essentially you play as this princess character and you've got to try and get the good ending, and it's rather complicated. Like, you have different skills you can max out first. It's more of a point and click game, visual novel if you will. And there are so many negative options. Like, oh god, I got poisoned by chocolate. I got killed in a jousting match. I got killed because my music was terrible. I got killed because I was a warmonger. Like, oh god.
I've seen that before. I saw somebody get killed by a snake.
Yeah, I had that. I got poisoned as well. Yeah, I fell out the window on one occasion. Wonderful, really.
Oh goodness.
4:15. Levies of Hawthorne.
Yay, it's completed.
Bah.
Bah. Bah humbug.
Yeah. A boring weevil. Why are you so boring?
They're not much fun at parties.
No. You've missed the metaphorical donkey on that one.
But I like donkeys.
No, you're missing the point, you know, like Pintail and Donkey. We all know it's a classic party game.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, exactly. You missed the mark. You missed it. You get it. Come on.
Tiny Bronco. My dad had a truck called a Bronco.
Yep. I'm sure he
Why
did.
are you saying it? He did.
I'm agreeing with you. What do you want me to say? No, he didn't.
You sounded like
My
you
father had these things. No, he
sure.
didn't. How would you know? He just didn't. You know? What do you expect from me?
You just sound like you were saying, like, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I'm
not
sure
really.
he did.
Yeah, like that.
Leslie, one day I will give you a full course in sarcasm.
Was that sarcasm?
No. No, it's not.
Oh. the little.
Take your time on your words. Take your time. Just spit the words out. Come on, woman. Out with them. Don't choke on them.
Called wedge.
Oh, well, it was a
It's
wedge
called
deep in
wedge.
your throat, wasn't it? Oh, that sounds really dirty. It wasn't even meant that way.
How does it? No.
What is it? This cognitive disconnect. Thinking Leslie is processing. Oh my god! Like,
No, how was it? I said no because something attacked
I'm
me.
going to spare you the grim details.
But how is it though?
I see. I'm not, you're too young for this. I'm going to give everyone the impression that you are indeed a 10-year-old boy when you're actually not.
I am.
I'll tell them when you're older, young man. Like, but I'm not even a man. I'm not young.
I'm not a young man.
I'm an old woman. It's like, what? I don't
That's
even
right.
realise.
I'm a young boy.
Oh, that's awful.
But
No.
a boy is young.
Wait,
It's
who
like
is?
saying the same word. A boy is young.
But are you a young boy?
I sound like one.
Yeah, but are you one?
No. But
What
I'm
are you, Wild Les?
an old lady.
Let me check. Oh, I need to check. Are you actually an old lady? May I look? In fact, not an old lady, but a mere young Les. Why would you lie to me about that?
No, you put me on the stream.
Got my hopes. No, I'm joking. That's awful. No. Yes, Wild Les.
You put me on the stream.
Yes, I had to check it. Yeah, because you're making jokes that sound like borderline paedophilic. I'm not a paedophile, so I have to clear my name. Just imagine someone's watching and he was like, yes, I sound like a young boy. And I'm like, no, you, Leslie, God, don't say it to people. They'll get the wrong idea. And you're like, but move. And it's like, no.
But I do sound like one.
I have to defend my honour. Defending my honour.
I don't like being up there.
Oh, we not there for very long. It was like 2 seconds at max.
Too
Oh my god.
long. What?
That's what you said. Too long. Oh.
Too long.
Okay, something more narrative. I'm in the adder's nest.
Ow. Ow. How'd you get there?
I ran back.
Wait, what?
I ran here.
But I'm getting here.
Oh, I actually get some new gear. Get a new earring.
Look at my new earrings.
Yeah. You know what? I like my new earrings. I stop mean about my earrings.
I'm not.
These are quite fanciful right now.
Do they look good on you?
Yes, they're quite mesmerising. They shimmer with the light as I walk through it, and it changes colour.
Just like your eyes.
They don't, that's kind of strange.
They do. You know, you put light on and they go whoosh.
You know, I'm gonna get a torch and shut my eyes and check that.
No.
Oh my god, my eyes, they're not dilating. Oh.
No, that's not what I meant.
What would you do to me, Wildlands? What are you doing to yourself? She told me to do it.
No, I didn't tell you to do that. I just said that your eyes light up.
Oh, imagine that this advert she sees as a kid, you know, you won't steal a car. Don't try torching your eyes.
I've never seen anything like that.
Do you not grow up with that? There's adverts, you know, you see in cinemas. You wouldn't steal a bike, you wouldn't steal a car. And then it goes on a bit of a tangent, eventually goes back to the main point, which is pirate is like something about piracy, yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't steal a car, so why would you steal music?
Exactly, even though they're very vastly different and one of them costs millions. So one of them costs a few £1,000, the other one costs like, you know, like £5 or something.
$5.
At least back in my day, it was like £5 for a CD.
Back in the Moof day.
Yeah, I'm too old for this now.
Just suddenly aging like a 62-year-old.
Well, I am. What are you talking about? Like, I can't age past my already current age, can I?
Well, you're not that age.
What do you understand?
You're not that age.
What oath will you swear? Oh my god. I shall strike down our enemies and drink of their blood. Before I pull their skulls off their spines one at a time and count them.
No.
I will then proceed to juggle them for the entertainment of spectators.
No, that's horrible. ...
I love that. He was a man of few words.
Woods will be done. My life for the elder seeds here.
Yes, may choose.
He's...
Lovely. My rank is now Serpent Private Class. Fantastic. Go forth, Private Move.
Private Move, go for it.
I love the pose they do. I absolutely adore how they put their arms together like, yes. All the team cheering me on. Yeah, feed me your validation.
I'm also Private Move.
There's only room for one of us in this town.
No, there's plenty of room for both of us.
Oh, psychic powers.
Oh, everybody's clapping.
I have no doubt that you were eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades. But I would ask that you pay a visit to your old ones first. Oh, science. Okay.
Oh,
What work have you got for me?
what's that called?
Snake bitten. We get specific benefits for being certain ranks within these grand companies?
I don't know. Ooh.
I love it.
What's will be done? Huh.
I'm reading something quickly about how the grand companies function.
Okay.
Apparently I can do some sort of missions that involve handing in supplies.
Yeah. Oh, you can get seals and get weapons.
Ooh, my little chocobo.
Can we do that?
We get a chocobo whistle. Yes, we can.
Oh, chocobo, my little chocobo, yes.
Okay. I am extremely hyped for this quest. Haha.
I am.
Oh my god, you sound so genuinely happy.
I am happy.
Apply for a promotion.
What? Let's go get chocobos.
Oh, I see. I can create bronze hoplons. Or a bronze hoplon. Let me ask our guild if there's any sort of benefit for being a higher rank within these grand companies.
Right.
Hello, friends.
Oh, do I have to say hello?
No, you don't
Okay.
have to.
Good.
I'm asking for my benefit. It saves me the time and effort to research.
Okay. Chocobo.
Do we have a serpent serpent chocobo in issuance?
We do. We got it.
Was it just given with the quest automatically?
Yeah.
Okay.
My little chocobo.
Where are you heading off to?
My little chocobo.
I can't hand it in here. No.
Oh, we have to get serpent seals for it.
How many?
Oh, I think we got seals, didn't we?
I don't think we got any seals for that particular mission, no.
No, I think we... no, we can get seals. Let's get seals.
Okay, fine.
Yay.
Oh my god, where's my inventory button? God, what am I doing with my life? Where's my... what the...
What's wrong?
I am struggling right now with what... That is not the right button, I'll tell you that much. Oh, I see, I actually opened my inventory up and I kept clicking the wrong buttons. Like, what? What's going on?
What is this?
Yeah. Do I have a bronze hoplon on me? I think I did. I do. I'm gonna hand that in. There we
I
go.
can either do...
I'm gonna take a mission. I'm gonna give you a bronze hoplon. There you go. I have 78 seals. How many seals is it, do you know?
It's... I don't know, let me check.
Is there a way I can actually... So we're looking for seals, right?
We're looking for an issuance.
I wonder if this particular merchant will sell it. It's not here. On the armor section. And it's most definitely not a weapon. Okay. So... It says the quartermaster, but that was the quartermaster, but I don't see that particular option. What's it under?
With the serpent quartermaster, here's hoping you have been setting aside your seals.
It's like...
We have to get it from this person.
Yeah, I wonder what if it's under one of the higher ranks, though.
No, it shouldn't be. Servant quartermaster.
It would surely be under materials or material. I mean, you can always Google it if it saves you some time, you know.
Oh yeah, you're right, I can do that.
Perhaps we've got to be a higher rank.
No, hold on. It's under material.
Yeah, but I can't see it. Company issue survival manual. Companies. Oh, I see it. I'm blind. So ignore me. I'm blind. Like I am really blind. It was right in front of me this entire time. I've gone past it several times.
Oh, company servant chocobo issues.
Okay.
Oh, we don't need that many.
We need enough. It's like 200, isn't it?
Yeah, 200.
Okay. Did that one. I have run out of provisions I can do. I don't know where to get a spotted pico from.
I can make things for it.
Can you make the hempen underpants?
I can do the hempen dump thing of gathering or the
What?
ash patterns.
I see. I need some hempen underpants. Could you make one of those? I can give you a bronze top playing, and I can give you some yew branches.
I don't think I have the recipe for that. Let me check.
Okay. Can you please mute your mic when you do that, please? I actually have 200. I actually don't need it anymore.
Hempen undershirt?
I'm okay actually. I've got enough.
Never mind.
I'm going to go hand the quest then while you hand in the materials to get the necessary seals.
I don't have any materials.
Oh, Eldiria. Oh my god, I can't, bro. Fuck me. Eldiria, Valdori, which I'm sorry, I remember the second name. You can buy certain crafting materials that you can also not the current highest rank. You do the NPC screwed rune stuff.
Dyed hempen cloth. Leather.
Oh, the yard.
Big gun. Dyed hempen cloth. And leather.
Yes, everything appears to be in order. Give me the bird, goddammit. Let me mount my bird.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, it's even got the Granite Company logo on its wings.
It does.
It does indeed.
Wait, let me make sure that's the right one.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna name it.
You can name it?
I'm just gonna call it Move On. Move Onwards. Wow. It's like I hate that it runs away from me. I think it'd be quite amusing if like you could actually lose your chocobo if you would say abuse the chocobo. You get it revoked from you and you get some sort of like criminal record for animal cruelty.
No, that's horrible.
No, I mean as in it'd be interesting if like to see how many people actually got it revoked from them like, unintentionally.
Oh, that's horrible.
How is it horrible?
To let them in the game, that's horrible.
How is it horrible? Isn't it positive? The punishers that are negative towards the animals?
Yes, but they aren't if they don't have the option to be.
Okay, that's a fair enough point. But you'll never know. Never know. Not in the game.
Do you have a brass Viking sword?
A brass what sword?
Brass Viking sword.
I did not. I cannot make one either. I'm not high enough rank. In the blacksmith
Can I make one? Hold on. You might be able to make it. I probably can.
Oh god, I want
Yeah,
a yawn.
I can.
Oh, I can feel the yawn coming on.
I need bronze and leather. Do you have any bronze on you by any chance?
I do.
Could I have some, please?
Actually, I might have used it. I have used it. I believe I can make. No, I do have some bronze ingots. Do you want some?
Yes, please. I need one, please. Wait, let me make sure I actually just need one. Yeah, I need one of those, please.
Which was the hotkey for the crafting tab? I think it was N, wasn't it?
In. Okay, I'm gonna go grab leather real quick. I need 2 kinds of leather. I need old leather. Although I don't know where to get that.
Do you want to trade the bronze off me, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I need the trade.
Come over here, then.
Stop moving, please.
I'm seeing what this thing over here is. It's a blue quest. I'm gonna click you. I'm gonna grab that quest. I advise you grab it as well.
I don't have a quest for this person.
You don't?
No.
How do I split a stack? Bear with me.
Okay.
I need to like leave trade chat while I'm doing this. Smoothing will not allow me to split it while I'm doing that.
I just need one, please.
Okay, trade me again now. Split the stack. I am ready. Oh dear, I banged my microphone. That was terrible.
Are you alright?
Yep. I don't want the gill. You take the gill away right now.
No, take it.
Leslie, you helped me out plenty of times. I'm not taking it. I refuse to give you if you not remove that money.
Please.
It is not necessary. Take the money away. I don't need 300 gil because I already have enough gil at the current moment. My current activities. If I was in dire need of it, I'd ask you. Don't worry.
I have 31,000.
I have 16,000. I've spent a large amount on various fishing activities and their supplies.
I can just give you it at a time.
No.
Yes, sir.
I don't want your filthy money. No, I'm joking. Give me it! No, no. I'm not that money obsessed. If it ever becomes a necessity for my activity, I'll ask to borrow some off you.
Alright. If you need it, just ask.
I need all your money. No, I'm joking.
Okay, you can have it.
No, I'm only kidding.
Oh. Oop, wrong button.
I feel guilty for taking your money off you.
No, don't feel guilty.
I don't
I'm
feel
giving it to
guilty.
you.
Manipulate me and use my money.
No, I'm giving you it. I need all the goat leather.
Goat leather?
Old goat leather.
Oh, okay.
It's horrible to say. I'm just gonna go see if anybody's selling it. No, that's the wrong place.
We're heading towards the market board.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if anybody's selling them. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I am literally standing in the main central plaza. I am running around the roofless plaza. In circles repeatedly.
Old.
I am performing a cyclical motion. Someone just traded me.
Why did they want to trade you? Would they trade you?
How do I thank this person?
Would they trade you?
They gave me a fledgling dodo.
Is that a hatch?
A minion. Yeah.
Is it cute?
Wait, how do I find them? Wait, under what tab do I find a minion guide?
Character minion guide.
I want some of that. Look at it. Oh god. It's got tiny little wings that aren't proportionate to his body.
oh, this is so cute. That's so cute.
Oh my god, look at this fucking...
Oh, they've had a...
Jesus Christ, that dodo is hilarious.
It's so cute.
It's got the fattest chest on it. Like, just look at it. It's such an odd-looking creature.
It's so cute.
Oh god.
I'm gonna touch it.
It's just the way it kind of waddles towards. Its eyes are so big and they don't blink. Oh, just look at it. It never blinks.
Hey.
Oh my god. It doesn't even blink, for God's sake.
There's a fat cat over there too.
Its eyes are permanently stuck open. It's been drinking all the caffeine.
It's got bug eyes.
You'd think I get charged with animal abuse for feeding my dodo caffeine.
But you didn't feed it. You got it.
I know, right? This guy just found a dodo in the street. He's like, I will look after you. Feeds it nothing but energy drinks, gives it to someone. Here you go.
One time, in Mobby, somebody you didn't know ran up to me, traded me like an outfit, and they just ran off. I was so confused about it.
I guess because they can see the new player icon above my name, they're like, fuck it, we'll give this guy a fat dodo.
Yeah, it must be. They were just like, maybe they'll like this.
I mean, the community in Final Fantasy does seem a hell of a lot more friendly to new players than the majority of the other people.
It really does seem like it.
Secretly, he's trying to show off. He's trying to show me all his cool pets. He's like, look at me! Give me your attention! I give you a dodo in return. That person got a sailor outfit.
I'm not a
Ooh, well, I like this person's outfit. There's someone here. He looks a bit like a, like an investigator. It's got a certain aesthetic about it. It's quite a serious aesthetic, with a few badges, which typically are logos or insignias. It looks very professional, like an investigator would.
I got.
I quite enjoy that outfit. Oh my god, that is a gangster Lalafell right there. It's got 4 earrings, like a proper black outfit, with 2 colours of hair. One is silver and one's black.
Is it really edgy?
Yeah, one of his eyes is white and one's red.
Oh my god! Wait, I'm gonna see this.
This is a hitman. Honestly, he's a dragoon. He is literally a hitman.
Wait, or oh my god!
I would be genuinely terrified if someone hired this thing to murder me.
You wouldn't be able to tell where it is. It's so small.
Exactly, perfect hitman. You know he's there somewhere waiting to kill you. He's like a tripwire and put into the front of your house.
He's just hiding under the bed.
He's removed it. He's removed all your knives blades and just, inverted them, so now they're facing towards you when you pick them up. Oh my god! How dangerous! Puts it down.
He twists all your pots so the handles.
Oh, my knives are blunt. How strange! Looks at the knife. Wait a minute, the blade's backwards. No wonder it was so ineffective.
Chocobo!
Right.
Oh, you're so cute.
Where have I heard a name before? Eri Hoshino. Is that Tokyo Ghoul?
I have no idea. I will name you what I've been naming all the other ones.
Oh, it's indeed from... Oh, it's an actor, I believe. What's the voice actor?
Oh, Chocobo.
Oh, no, it's an actual anime, I think. I'm not too sure. There's a bunch of mixed results for it.
Yes.
Costume department.
Come back, Chocobo.
No, the owl's called Eto, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, correct. Whoops. Oh well. I had a dream that I could fly.
You can.
Okay, thanks for telling me that. Leaped out the nearest window. Leap of faith! Straight out. Straight down.
I got a Chocobo move.
So we go on to our next mission so we can ride the chocobos.
Chocobo.
Oh my god, mental imagery. I just had this thought. Like you grab your chocobo's feathers, you like vroom vroom as you like twist them like handlebars. Faster, my bird, vroom vroom. Like,
Just twisting the reins, vroom vroom.
I saw it in a film once. This will surely work. I mean, how do you get a laugh like yours? Wait, what's my dodo doing? It's just being adorable, being goofy.
It's being a dodo.
Being rather endearing. It's kind of scaring me though. Like, he's so creepy and lifeless.
He's
Eyes.
got one feather just off the
I am
top of his
watching
head.
you all the time in 2 different directions. I was looking at him. I was looking at the eyes. I'm like, no wonder you went extinct.
Right, let's
Look at this jig. Look at this jiggling little butt. Its tail feathers just jiggling away.
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
What a strange creature. It's like, I like you. Hello.
Pet.
Oh, it's kind of cute though. Oh, it's adorable.
No, you walked away.
There is a slight delay on my end. Wait. What's this person's outfit? Looks a bit like a royal jester.
It looks like a
something.
Santa Claus.
You think so?
Yeah.
More like a royal court kind of vibe in a strange way.
It looks more like a Santa Claus type deal.
Hmm. Who am I to judge the attire of other individuals?
We need to go to the...
I want to do the Wolfgate quest to unlock that area. There's a gateway which is blocked off to us in the central Gridania area.
What Wolfgate quest?
No, sorry, it was old Gridania, my bad.
What Wolfgate quest?
Do you still not see a blue... Are you level 24 like me?
I am...
Can you see a blue quest where I'm currently heading towards?
Hold on.
It's an NPC
No.
called Toyo Moi.
No, there's not one there.
Oh. I got a blue quest called Broadening Horizons. In recognition of your recent exploit, Serpent Corporal Toyo Moi has opened the White Wolf Gate to you. To seek passage, show your gate pass to the gatekeeper.
No, I don't have that.
Either way, I'm gonna hand it in. I'm sure you'll pick it up at some point. How many quests did you hand in to get the seals required to get your chocobo?
I did 3 items.
Oh, that's quite strange. So I did 2, I think it was, and I... I'm trying to figure out where that gate is. I remember it being around... Whereabouts was it? Where's my map? Oh, I'm more on this. Oh, it's in New Gridania. Oh, I'm so inaccurate today.
It's okay.
Like every other week. Ha! Ha ha! My life's a joke.
No, it's not.
None of that positivity.
Positivity.
It's supposed to be a chill stream where we don't talk 24/7, but that always happens.
It's okay. We'll just talk all the time.
I'd rather we don't do that.
Why not?
That sounds like a terrible idea. Oh, welcome to the stream, everyone. We're going to talk for the next 6 hours, so prepare your eardrums. They're going to bleed. Haha! No.
What if they want them to bleed?
Leslie, to follow a single one of our little tangents is quite taxing on the mind.
It's okay.
We bounce from the craziest ideas.
It's okay.
Ah, I have to be level 29 to unlock it.
Oh. Hold up, let's see,
Wait a minute. Was that I need to double check something. My eyes deceive me. No, my eyes do not deceive me. I was not wrong, but I definitely doubted it for a temporary amount of time.
that you did.
Let's go this way. I really love the design in Final Fantasy though. Like, it is far superior to World of Warcraft, I admit that much. But the combat system in World of Warcraft is far better than Final Fantasy.
Use a mix of the two.
Yeah, I'd love a game that has like the kind of inspiration that Final Fantasy has, like the kind of the depth of the wild around me, but then give it the combat system like that's as fast as World of Warcraft Legion, for example. I say Legion because BFA has been slowed down dramatically, which might be quite good actually for a newer audience who are not too experienced with MMOs, because the Legion gameplay on Taurus is quite quick for a lot of classes. So perhaps slowing it down is actually a genuinely positive idea, even if people like myself who are Mythic Raiders are a bit against the change. But then obviously we're going to be against it because we would like the game to be harder, because we've already beat the current content. Whereas other people who are obviously struggling perhaps want the other way, perhaps want it a bit easier for them because it's too hard.
Moof.
Yes, what's up?
We have to go to Ulda for the quest.
Which quest we do? Are we doing the main quest for Scions?
main quest.
Mine's in the Waking Sands. Are you sure? Oh yeah, it's all.
Yeah,
You're
Waking
right.
Sand is old.
It's Western Downlands, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Commence the special dance of teleportation. Yeah. That's right, I am here.
Have no fear, Moof is
They
here.
don't reference that.
But we can use our dodo.
I think what you just said, there was something extremely wrong with that sentence.
What was wrong with it?
That's right, our dodos, says Leslie.
I didn't say that.
You did, you genuinely just did.
I said we can use our chocobos.
No, you honest to God just said, let's ride our dodos. I will honestly cut my arm off. I will even show you it in the recording. You literally just said, let's ride our dodos.
I said chocobos.
I'm not lying to you. I heard you say that. It was clearly a mental error on your part. It's really funny. Let's ride our dodos. Like, what? Come on, stupid feathered animal. He's angry at you. How dare you call me a dodo, scumbag.
But that's what you are.
I am a royal chocobo. Treat me with the respect I deserve.
It just has like a sideway, like inflatable crown on.
Revere me, peasant. You're only my back, so I allow it.
Has one of the scepters taped to his wing. But it's on like...
It's got a superior attitude to other individuals. I will talk down to you, peasants.
No.
I quite like chocobos, actually.
I do too.
Giant feathered chickens.
Super chickens.
Sorry. It's some of the comments you say, they inspire my mind to create rather amusing mental imagery. So every time you come out some stupid comment that's typically just lacking thought, my brain just creates something particularly strange out of it. Like super chocobos, what the hell you just said? Like
super chickens.
Super chickens. In my brain, it's a bunch of chickens. Sort of doing like karate or something in my mind.
They have the thing bandana on.
It really just triggers me. It just sets off like a spark of like different anime chickens, and it's like translating it into like English. It's like, you have gone too far this time, chicken cunt. And it's, you know, something ridiculous like that.
It just turns to one of them. They have like the really big eyes and giant head.
Oh no! Oh, they got giant headdresses made out of feathers. It's how you know he's the main character.
The main girl chicken has like rainbow feathers.
My secret technique, I got a chicken claw. Caw! He just flies in like his talons out. Argh! With the movement lines. Show how fast and furious he is.
Who is it? Who is it? Oh, it's those people.
Oh, it's Tartar. She's quite
Boy-
adorable. This way, sirs.
You didn't like her though.
She's funny though, you gotta admit. She's just singing to herself. Oh. It's just like... Oh my god.
Biggs and Wedge.
There's something weird about a Rose smiling, like, hello there, I'm tall. It's like, oh my god! It's like Big Cook, Little Cook.
What?
There's a TV show called Big Cook, Little Cook about a giant chef and a small chef, and these two people, like these two unnamed NPCs or whatever, these two engineers we saved from the previous quest. It just so happens that it's a really big dude, like a Ro, and a really small Arlafel. Big Cook, Little Cook. They're here to show us another amazing recipe.
It's really funny seeing my character near that one, cause like their hand is the size of my character's face. I think I'm only taller than the Olafel in this room.
I am talking, but I make no sounds.
You just have a puppet.
You stop ruining the cutscenes. I say as I'm doing the same thing. I genuinely do care about the lore as well. It just, I find it extremely hard to get into cutscenes when there's no voice acting, because obviously, with my dyslexia, I struggle quite a lot to read large amounts of text in a row without my eyes and vision going slightly funny.
There's some coming up, Moof.
Oh, good, perfect. I love it when there's voice acting.
I hate voice acting.
Polar opposites.
Now,
Having set of formalities,
we have a
I love how upbeat all the voice acting is. Like, every character here is somewhat positive, like a positive ring to it. They also dip down slightly, like, we have a positive note. It increases, like, the actual pitch increases throughout the whole thing.
I don't know, they all sound a bit...
Oleander, have the documents arrived? I'll stop. I'll stop this.
A synopsis, if you would.
Ooh.
We have conducted a study at the behest of the Order of the Papalimo, Ida, a synopsis, if you would.
Our task was to
I love his voice. I actually love Papalimo's voice. It's a fantastic voice. It's so fantasy-esque. Like, jeez, I mean, it's actually in a fantasy game, but it's like Professor Layton kind of like mad professor vibe to it. Our task. It's oh my god, I can't find the right words for it to describe how it sounds. The tone of voice.
They look like Gissel greens, floating ones that worship the primal Ramu.
Though technically a beast tribe, sylphs are blessed with a comparatively personable demeanor, conducive to peaceful communication.
Offering us an invaluable opportunity to learn what the beast tribes know of the primals.
While Ramu's existence is well documented, the sylphs do not, or perhaps cannot, summon the primal any longer, insofar as can be ascertained. Until such time as we know, it would be unwise to assume that the threat
I quite enjoy that word,
posed by the
ascertained.
primal has passed.
Which leaves Gridania with the added worry of not knowing what they should be worrying about.
Thanks, he does. That's very useful.
In that regard, they are hardly alone.
Why do you like it?
What we who
'Cause
I
ascertain is like
find
saying what I conduct from the
is
current
among
knowledge.
most savage and terrible of all known primals.
It's a way of shortening down a phrase into a word, which is always
It
positive.
is essential that we approach the sylphs in as diplomatic
That's
a
not
manner as
positive for
possible.
me.
Words and actions can be misconstrued.
I've never heard that word misconstrued. I'm assuming it means it can be interpreted the wrong way. I love it when games teach me vocabulary that I don't understand currently. That way I can broaden my understanding.
The threat of the primals. I am grateful.
Lovely. Well, as much as I'd like to help, I'm afraid I would be of little use to anyone in Gridania. A veritable babe in the woods.
Veritable.
Ida and Papalimo,
Walked out and the
however,
giant
should
chocobo
be
just
able to
flew
see the
at me.
forest for the trees. Is that not so, Minfulia?
Indeed. You are willing?
I love that. You are willing, aren't you?
Leave it to me.
You are,
Us,
yes.
Ida, us.
What if I'm not?
Name me a more iconic duo. Papalimo and Ida.
Any other duo.
What do you mean? They're fantastic.
I know.
They're absolutely fantastic. I love their little quirky demeanour that they carry along with them. Leave it to me! Us! I love watching them bicker slightly. You never tell me anything. She's like the innocent child. Well, she's kind of like mirrors what you, the audience, are feeling. He's denying you the knowledge. It's what makes it so much more enjoyable. The fact you can relate to it.
Nah.
It's quite interesting. It's quite an interesting technique when you have a character mirror the audience. I've seen it in quite a few shows. It's quite interesting. Okay. Sylph management.
Self-management. Ella,
Hello there.
you left without me.
I'm outside waiting for you.
I was out in the room.
I didn't realise it. Did I? I mean, I am blind. You're talking to a guy who's literally blind.
Oh.
What do you want from me?
Look at it, look, it flaps its wings.
I think there's flying mounts in Stormblood, you know.
Yeah. Look at its feet, they kind of like... They're so cute. Mine doesn't jump as high as yours.
Well, I am taller than you, so that's probably what it is.
Oh, that's not fair.
You know what, Leslie? Life's not fair. If you want to short, I say with very blatant animosity.
But why? I love you.
Because I've devised that you are inferior to me and my superior stature.
Well, I'm just short.
Don't worry, you have the superior brain power to me, so it's completely fine.
No, I don't.
I don't know. I can barely think for more than 5 minutes.
No, you can. What did you name your chocobo?
Move on.
Oh, where are we going to?
What's your chocobo called?
Oh, never mind. I named it after, well, all the gold saucer ones I've been having, I've named Whisper something. So I just named this one Whisper.
It's rather unoriginal.
Well, right now my gold saucer chocobo is, Whisper Ice.
Okay.
And so I just named that one Whisper. The original one was like... The original one was... I don't know. Whisper as Spirit.
Oh.
It's a weird name.
Well, it's not as weird as some of the row names, like Merlwib.
Merlwib.
A fantastic name. I'm struggling to erase the names of some of the characters that we bumped into within Limsa Laminza. Considering some of the names were just like random letters that was sprawled across the keyboard.
I'm gonna name it. Just hit the keyboard.
What were the developers thinking? You know what? Let's just connect random consonants together in a random string, and there's our name.
Let's put an apostrophe and a semicolon.
I've got it, genius! What is the theme of these people's names? There isn't one.
There isn't one. That's the thing.
Exactly. Very thematic.
I hate that saying. A little bird told us. No, somebody told you, not a bird.
Why do you hate that?
Because it's not a bird telling you.
Just stop. You are aware that's such an autistic way of putting it.
Like, you could just say, oh, this person told me. No, not the...
It makes me laugh because we're both autistics, so seeing his actual comments is like triggering as hell. Autism meets figurative speech. Came from the wind. No, it didn't! No! I refuse!
I refuse.
That is disputable! I refuse. I will not accept it. I will cast down your gods! Strip away their power.
Have any gods. Exactly.
I will be the conduit of the anger of the people!
What people? Me!
Autism unite! Our flag is just an injection. Oh my god. If I had my way, I would honest to god make my own campaign and just call it Injections Cause Autism. Knowing blatantly
really
they don't.
Side in small text.
The innocent little disclaimer at the very bottom. Secretly they do not. This is always stunt to gain publicity.
This is just for publicity. Don't take any.
It's just us to push our agenda to make autism more known about. Just spend many years of my life, decades of my life, creating misconceptions so we can have a very distorted general consensus of autism. Although I have had some rather amusing understandings of autism, such as people believing that you cannot have autism as an adult, that you just grow out of it. Somehow you just shed your skin, and the autism just falls off you.
I have to go shed the autism now.
Somehow, by becoming an adult, your autism regresses back into the recess of the world.
No.
I'll say no to that.
Oh, I saw.
Hand flap. Oh.
And there was this lady who made a post and was just like, my baby has an unbothered immune system. I didn't even know she had measles until I took her to the doctor.
An unbothered immune system?
Yeah.
What's that even mean?
The immune system isn't fighting the disease.
So it's not unbothered, it's just not functioning.
No, it's not fighting the disease. So she was like, oh, it's unbothered. My baby is so strong, but your baby's gonna die. Your immune system isn't fighting it.
The whole idea is that, like,
oh my God.
it's understandable. Like, if your immune system's not impaired, you typically can fight off the majority of illnesses, with exception to things that obviously you bypass it, such as sepsis, you know, There's the more advanced, so sepsis is the advanced one. No, so that's not true. Septicemia is the more advanced version of it. Things that can kind of bypass it, you can't really deal with, like a lot of fungus, bacteria. Your body just isn't designed to deal with some of the illness that we can contract. Although typically, I do think that we may be stunting our immune system to a degree by over abuse of vaccinations. Meaning, obviously, vaccinating things such as there's a dangerous one recently. In like influenza strains that are dangerous, like the swine flu and stuff, understandable. There was a rather dangerous one, a disease a few years back now. It was a certain strand of it. Like some strands of disease that are very, very, very dangerous, extremely aggressive, and they need to be vaccinated because it's just too dangerous. But then there are some things out there which are not particularly aggressive that we vaccinate people for the sake of it. And there is an importance in doing this because by keeping the populace immune to these diseases, we can prevent them from resurgences. Whereas if you have some people are vaccinated, some people are not vaccinated, you will see a resurgence. And obviously people abusing antibiotics will also cause resurgence of diseases. For example, in the UK, there's been a new outbreak of tuberculosis, which was a disease that they thought was dead. Even the Black Plague is still in existence in some countries.
Yeah.
It's still dangerous if you haven't got a vaccination for it. So if you haven't got the vaccine for it, and you haven't got the antidote, sorry, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, so I do think there's a fine line between abuse of medicine and supporting people to make sure they actually live a decent, healthy life. Because there are some diseases that if you get as a kid, they can really damage your body. So much so, they weaken your arteries until you're an adult and they can kill you in later life. A rather famous one like it's called scarlet fever. It's a very dangerous fever and it makes you cough very violently for I think it's about a week or so on end. And it just does so much damage to your body. It can cause you to have like, heart attacks and shit in real life. There
was a person who got that went blind. They were famous.
But then there are some diseases that you also really do want to have as a kid. Like if you don't develop chickenpox as a kid, it's very dangerous to contract that illness in your 80s and 70s. It can kill you quite easily. So there are some conditions you would like to contract and some conditions you don't want to contract. But in the end, it's not like you sit around at home when you're young and go, "I want the measles." Like,
no.
It's a mere measly disease. Measly disease.
Measles are deadly.
No, you're missing the fun. It's a measly disease. Measly means small, it's minor. It's a measly disease. It's ironic, 'cause it's not, it's the opposite. Oh my god. Yeah, it really depends on the disease itself.
No, I just got really irritated about it, because she's like, oh, it's an unbothered immune system, she's so strong.
It's illogical because we're not immune to death.
But the thing is, like, when you get
also
sick
children and the venerable elderly are typically have impaired immune systems. So yes, as an adult, if you contracted the measles, you're typically going to be fine because you've got a pretty strong immune system because it's got a tolerance, right? It's built up from dealing with various other pathogens that cause you resistance. But as a young kid and as an elderly individual, your immune system is impaired. And if you have an impaired immune system, even a common cold's deadly. Like that's the same logic as saying you've got AIDS or HIV, so you've got an impaired or weakened immune system and going, I'll be fine. But no, because your body is not equipped to deal with this particular instance.
Like, you know how if you're sick and you're like coughing and sneezing?
Yes.
That's because the immune system is fighting it.
Another thing I have a real hatred. Well, yeah, I mean the worst symptoms are typically the more your body's fighting. It's your T cells, which are your white blood cells, if you ask me. Yeah, you are correct. But no, what was I going to say to you? I have a real pet hatred when people go to work when they're ill, or they send their kids to school when they're fucking ill, and it just spreads unnecessary diseases around, like unnecessary pathogens and various other bits and bobs. And it's just like, how about you don't send your kid to school when he's ill? Like, your kid is ill, and just because he's not exhibiting a heavy cold, does not mean he's not ill. You can go dormant for a few days before you're completely cured. You should not. It's like if you go from coughing violently the previous day, you should not go to work the next day because you're feeling slightly better, because you're on antibiotic sample, because you can still be infected. Because the antibiotics will often make the symptoms less severe. It's stupidity, and the sheer fact people don't realise that you might not necessarily be cured of it just because you can be a carrier as well for pathogens for quite a long time. In fact, there are many instances where you can be a host of a disease and it may never ever bother you. You can be dormant for years and you, and you can give it to other people.
When you get I think it was a virus.
Yes.
You You never actually get rid of it. It just goes dormant.
Oh,
There's
sorry.
active virus and inactive virus.
Well, am I
So when
correct
you-
in thinking that viruses are the ones that they actually enter your white blood cells and they don't have a nucleus, do they?
They can't reproduce by themselves.
No, they
need cells.
enter your cells, don't they? And they burst out, and then they release more versions of themselves to copy it using the DNA of our own cells. Aren't they? It's impossible for them to asexually reproduce, isn't it, typically, without having the aid of another cell.
Oh, I watched a video recently. Actually, it was really interesting. There's these really small viruses that actually attack other viruses.
Really?
Yeah.
There's more layers than what we realised from initial glance.
Yeah. And they didn't think it was possible, but there's
The question is though, what is the purpose of viruses? Where do these creatures stem from? Like, because we are constructs of many, many millions, if not billions of cells, right? And obviously viruses are singular-celled organisms, aren't they?
They're not cells. They don't have the cellular
Oh,
structure.
sorry, I meant bacteria. What they're singular-celled. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Viruses are not. What would you even call a virus? What classification of creature are they?
They're a virus. They're by themselves.
So they're
because
just called a
not
virus. Are
technically
they technically a pathogen?
No. Actually, no, they are. They're a pathogen, but they're not technically alive, so they aren't really like a bacteria or anything.
Well,
like
yes,
that.
I mean the fungus and bacteria are alive, whereas viruses are not technically, according to our classification. Technically, I personally do think they're alive because they do have a purpose. They are programmed to do a specific thing. Here's a question: if they are not technically alive and have no nucleus, how do they exactly know what they're doing? Like, I mean, obviously they're designed with a very specific function. It's like, you know, like, for example, creatures are born with innate ability to swim, walk, whatever, that has programmed into them. And obviously bacteria, how do these singular-celled organisms have, like, a set of programming that they follow?
A virus has DNA or RNA surrounded by.
Isn't RNA essentially the building blocks of DNA?
DNA and RNA are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, but I think RNA is found different, isn't it? Because I remember reading about it was something to do with the original genesis of life on Earth or something. They found an area that's absolutely filled to the brim with RNA, I think it was, and they were studying it quite extensively to try and get some more research done about it.
RNA is the other side of DNA.
The other side?
Yeah, because DNA has 4 nitrogen bases, and RNA is then used to translate it into something else that the cells use. So they take a DNA,
Wait, sorry, could you say that again? I'm sorry, I spaced out. I'm not particularly the most intelligent person when it comes to RNA and DNA. I am not familiar with the concept. What do you mean by as the 4 bases? What's a regular DNA built out of? I'm not familiar with this.
It's made out that A it goes to T, C goes to G.
Oh, is it this again? I don't think I remember you telling this a long time ago, but I'm too stupid to figure it out.
Yeah, so if you have a DNA that's like AC, the RNA opposite of that would be TG.
Hold on. So is that the construct it's built from then?
Yeah.
So essentially, are you telling me that RNA and DNA have different formats then of their initial design, and RNA is an inverted version of DNA?
Yeah. Wait, I think RNA was different. Hold on, never mind. Hold on.
Okay, can you find that out for me? I do not like false information.
I'm trying to remember. I think RNA has the U. I believe it does have U. Yeah. RNA uses a U instead of a T.
A U instead of a T? Okay, so what's that do? Well, how's that change it? Make it fundamentally different? Well, not fundamentally different. I mean, how's it change it in a way which makes it distinct in the way which is noticeable? What's it do?
If that's your DNA, for example, your RNA would be that.
Okay.
So instead of having a T, you would have a U, and then any T goes to an A.
Okay, I'm going to do some further research into some point because this is actually fascinating to me. So it's the base of DNA. See, when I was at college, I'm not stupid particularly. We just were not taught this element of DNA. We were taught things to do with like hydrocarbons and breaking down carbons into energy and vice versa. Although, to be honest with you, although I do personally quite enjoy science and learning in general, I never really paid attention to any of it. I really should have done because I now feel vastly retarded because I've missed out on a lot of potential to learn various interesting concepts.
They are nitrogen bases. because it's really easy to separate them.
I was reading about something to do with RNA the other day. I didn't look too much into it because it's extremely complicated. At least it is to me, so I don't have the background knowledge. I will find out what I was reading about the other day. There was something to do with... Obviously, because when you read things up right and it puts it into very, specialist terms, it's quite complicated to follow without the prerequisite knowledge, or at least knowledge of a particular subject.
Yeah. See, I really like biology stuff like DNA, RNA.
Why don't you then, if you have an interest in science in general, why don't you say? I mean, I'm nearly certain you can indeed study one diploma and then do another one at some point if you really wanted to. That way you could say get an understanding of DNA, and therefore you could indeed enjoy yourself in that regard. You could then have a different sense of progress. Also, there are people out there that do research these topics extremely in depth, and they have no diploma, but they are technically. Obviously, they don't have the proof, or the bona fide proof at least, but I wouldn't say that anyone who's done enough research is technically an idiot. I don't think having a diploma means that you're necessarily more intelligent or less intelligent than an individual.
No, like, I really like the genes more than anything. The gene side.
Why do we display DNA in a double helix, considering I'm looking at something to do now with the structure of like DNA and RNA. The RNA layout is extremely erratic in comparison to DNA. Or maybe DNA is actually just put into a double helix for a sense of simplicity. Could also be how it's bind. That's fascinating. I just looked up the true shape of DNA and what it's built out of. It's really fascinating. There's some extremely high resolution DNA shapes.
Oh,
like chromosomes.
the reason, the reason RNA is displayed differently is because it's only one strand.
Oh.
And DNA is double-stranded, which is why it's a double helix.
Does that mean that DNA can fundamentally create more complicated life forms and organisms?
Anything that has DNA can pretty much, depending on where they are, evolve into different...
Could we evolve something out of, say, could we create an even more advanced one with DNA if we had the technology, which could then create an entirely different structure?
No, there are some people who actually have three things of DNA strand.
And what does that do? What's that allow them? What's that enable?
Hold on, let me check, because I can't quite remember.
I have evolved superior to all of you peasants! Just looks out with everyone. I have 3 strands of DNA.
Yeah, there was officially acknowledged case of a child with 3 DNA strands.
What do you mean by 3 DNA? I mean, how many when you say DNA strands, are you implying we only have 1 DNA in our entire body?
No, we have a double helix, but there's a 2-year-old boy named...
Alright, let me ask a really stupid question on a very basic level, alright? With DNA. Do we only have a single strand of DNA for our entire makeup?
No, we have double helixes.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, but do we have a single double helix for our entire body?
No, we have it everywhere. Everything has our DNA in it.
But are there different structures of DNA for different parts of the body?
No, they're all the same.
Oh.
Unless you go to RNA, which then is used differently. Which
Yeah, but do we have any RNA within our system? Our natural?
We do.
Whereabouts is it found?
RNA is used to make proteins in the ribosomes.
Oh, so it's made for energy. So it's the energy fat. Sorry, I'm using my simple man terms. Yeah, so it's used for energy then, for creating energy within our cells. I remember what ribosomes are because there was such strange. I remember we had to do a very brief study to do with the cellular organs, which I found to be quite. I love biology. I think it's one of the most interesting sciences. Like I don't dislike physics or chemistry particularly, but with chemistry I really had a hard time understanding the properties of each individual molecule. So although I know basic things such as like noble gases didn't really react because they're a stable cell, but what they teach because it's fundamentally wrong. But I looked up what they would call a stable outer shell within certain molecules, and it's not true. They were teaching us that was fundamentally wrong.
Right.
And it really annoyed me. It made me really doubt what they were teaching me after that point.
Nah.
Because I know that they want to dumb it down when you're at college, right? Because obviously they believe that majority of students will not have the understanding or the capacity to understand something that's very complicated. But I would still rather they take their time and explain things more in detail than, say, give me a dumbed-down version of a particular concept. Amazing how far, like, how intelligent humanity is. Well, it's not like individual humans are intelligent. It's amazing how many miniature triumphant moments we have within humanity. How many miniature successes have contributed to this grander whole, this amalgamation of our success. To me, it's fascinating how far we've managed to accelerate our own knowledge.
Somebody made a paper proving that quadruple helixes are also known as G quadruplexes, can exist in the human genome, but there was a boy born with 3 DNA strands called Alfie Clamp.
Yeah.
He was the only person to be diagnosed with it yet. He was born blind with severe disabilities, which they carried out various tests on it. And they revealed his 7th chromosome had an extra strand of material, which had never been documented anywhere in the world before.
So it has negative implications then, or was it more that? Or was it more because that was a deformity rather than? Like, I'm asking, like, does having 3 strands of DNA within at least one of your chromosomes, does that always result in some sort of deformity? I mean, obviously it will always be a deformity compared to what a regular human being would be. Will it always be a negative outcome?
It depends on.
Or could you say, like, grow like a 3rd arm that functions properly?
No, it depends on what codons are changed when that happens.
What's a codon?
A codon is the DNA bases, like.
Oh, here we go.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we all have we have all individual codons, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And basically those codons are then used for your body to then take and then change into a different
Could
form.
we say identify different genetics and then, like, obviously I know have you heard in science fiction how, like, they dream of a world where we can, like, essentially, rather than having kids do the traditional way, you know, if they're giving birth, we can just go to a machine and essentially input a series of traits that we find desirable within our children, and then we can get, like, essentially a child created for us that would be specified.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually a fantastic idea. Like, obviously I don't buy into a whole lot of natural, unnatural. It's a sign of ignorance, right? Nothing is truly natural, nothing is truly unnatural. The universe in itself, and the fact we exist, is somewhat unnatural because it's by chance, a random chance. Who cares? The whole concept of people playing God is also a strange idea. Like, yes, I mean, we are humans, right? And the argument that playing God is negative is always fundamentally flawed. It implies that whoever has that power would abuse it, or something would go wrong because we couldn't understand it, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. If we were to advance to that point, we would have all the prerequisite knowledge, and in which case, the people who are manipulating that knowledge, I would assume, would have a better scope of what they're doing, right? And as such, there's not as much margin for error. Although I can foresee in some grim dystopian future where these particular advancements could be used in a detrimental way, or as a way of essentially punishing the general populace, or creating a further divide, because you could essentially make someone immortal, and you could have someone who's like a millionaire living fucking forever. And if you had £1 million to begin with, you could generate another £1 million, another £1 million, and then you could just fuel yourself forever, providing there was enough resources, until we hit the heat death of the universe. At which point we would all die in a horrible. Yeah, we'd be dead because there's no movement. There's no movement on the molecular level, as far as we currently understand.
Apparently, we're evolving.
Well, of course we're evolving. Like,
no, I meant with our DNA.
Well, yes, of course. People, they had this idea that the human brain stopped developing at a certain age. It doesn't. It's always changing. They looked into it. The human brain's always adapting. It's always changing. It's always evolving. The more you use it, the smarter you become, and vice versa. Well, you develop it in a way which allows you to have certain skills that are more developed than others. So the term "use it or lose it" does come to mind.
We're mutating.
Oh yes, of course we're mutating. We've been exposed to stimulus. We're exposed to a unnatural. What's the word for it? The conditions where humanity originally evolved are no longer being met. And as such, because of our altered conditions, you will find our bodies will try to adapt to our current environment. This can be things like even just unnatural amounts of different chemicals in the atmosphere. It will cause strange evolutions. In our case, I believe it's doing the opposite. What you might call an evolution, I would call a de-evolution.
De-evolution?
Yeah, but is it de-evolution or is it just devolve? I know devolve is the...
Either.
Because devolve is past tense, it's already happened. Like, you say, it devolved. It's done. You could say we are going to devolve, therefore, in which case it's current tense or
future.
No, you could set it to future tense because you can say we are about to devolve. Future tense. You could say we are devolving, which is current, and you could just say that we are. I guess it's neither. I guess it doesn't have a set tense.
And it says, we will be developing 12 helixes during this time, which seems to have started maybe 5 to 20 years ago. We have been mutating. This is the scientific explanation. It is a mutation of our species into something for which the end result is not yet known.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes. I remember reading a documentary about that when they were talking about how humanity would devolve into a slug, like a single-footed creature that would hop around the desert because of what we'd done to the environment and how it became a barren wasteland. That was such a weird documentary. Nonetheless, though, like if you look around, I do think that there's going to be a divide within humanity within a few thousand or so years, because if you look at genetics and how we're forming, there are a lot more negative genetics in the gene pool that typically would have died out many years ago, given the opportunity. Yeah. So I do believe that we are devolving in a given way. I also think there'll be a split where you have some people who take the positive traits and they will become a subspecies almost of humanity. I mean, a bit like Neanderthals. Neanderthals, they weren't really human, were they? But they were still technically a subspecies. I think we'll see that. I mean, then again, I wonder if like autism's technically like a subspecies humanity. I guess not. It's more of a deformity, isn't it? And it's obviously because it's not like a classified change, i.e., the same in every individual. You can't really call it a modification, or at least a development, as you might call it, because it's not the same. It's always different. So I guess you call that one a mutation or an adaptation, depending on what it does to you.
Apparently, the quadruplex DNA is found fairly consistently throughout a human genome.
Oh.
They had been testing on like test tube babies in DNA, and they thought it was just something that happened with that instead of actually happening in nature.
There's actually a lot of studies, about autism and the advancements that people with autism have caused society, and it's almost like you're like a godchild, like you're godwoken. It's what it feels like if you're autistic, you're godwoken. You've been given some sort of special powers. Well, or special retardation, depending on what form you.
Depending on how severe it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend it's always a gift. It's always rainbows and flowers. It's fucking not. But it can be a gift to some individuals. But yeah, there's a few different studies talking about how various instances within human evolution where there might have been people with autism who developed certain innate parts of our current society, be it inventions, be it language, be it mathematics, right? Or how they forward it. Like Einstein had autism and he managed to forward science. Mathematical science anyway, and science would agree with us. Obviously, split the atom, didn't he? So,
yeah.
I must like an idiot. I'm really struggling with my context. I do not have any specialist knowledge on these particular topics. I have no esoteric knowledge, but yeah. So, I find it peculiar. What if autism is like a mutation that's technically beneficial to some and then detrimental to others?
Didn't you see a thing a while ago about them being able to detect them in the womb?
They can detect autism, but they can detect it in a way like, obviously if you give them a brain scan and you see the brains developing differently, you might say, depending on what it is and if it's like a specific dominant gene causing it, you could either classify it as potential autism, or you could say it's something like, I don't know, Down syndrome, depending on whatever the problem is. But yes, they can detect it. They can detect all sorts of deformities using that particular scanner. I don't know its name. I'm so ignorant about this topic, so I'm not familiar with it.
I do know there are some things that can happen to your genes, like the X and Y genes, that some people can develop 2 or 3 of them when they're not supposed to have them.
Does that mean that they only have kids of one gender? Or
No.
is that something very different? So I know someone in my family he only ever produces X genes when obviously when it's relevant to that.
No. I mean, like, it can happen to any of the genes. There's something called trisomy 21, but the 21 is what gene it occurs on.
So what actually happens then?
Chromosomes, sorry. So with
is that syndrome X by any chance? When I think about it.
No. It's trisomy 21 or whatever one it occurs on. It's Down syndrome.
Oh wait, no, is that Down syndrome? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it the 21st chromosome that it influences?
No, it's anyone. You go trisomy and then.
Yeah, I know having an extra chromosome causes Downs, but I wasn't familiar if it was a specific chromosome or if it was any of them.
No. Since we have 23 of them, you would go trisomy and then 8 or 7 or whichever one it is.
I honestly thought we had 24. I honestly thought we were all Down syndrome.
No. There are some people who... There are some girls and guys that have 2 X chromosomes. And some guys actually develop to where they look feminine.
Oh, okay.
Except they're not.
So it causes various different changes based on the chromosome.
Yeah. Depending on which one's affected, can then change how you are.
Well, that's evident.
And how you
suppose.
look. Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have that than I would do, say, having a 24th chromosome or having some sort of particularly... I mean, I guess I'm lucky in the regard that I wasn't born with a more severe version of my conditions, at least. I mean, it's better than what I could have had, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's called XYY syndrome. And it's just where, instead of having X and Y, you have X and then 2 Ys. And then there's XXY, or you have 2 X's and 1 Y instead of X and Y.
That's strange. That's still fascinating nonetheless, though.
For the most part, they're pretty alright, but sometimes it can affect them.
It's quite strange that we sit here going, oh, having autism so bad, and it's like, well, we could actually be far more severely worse off than what we're currently being subjected to.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, I really like stuff that involves genes and, like, what could happen if this is affected.
You really are a mad professor, aren't you?
What do you mean?
If I stuck in a laboratory with various chemicals and tubes... Oh!
No,
Yeah.
I like genes and the little square box thing.
Square box thing?
It was a... I can't remember the
Is that the
name.
one that calculates the outcome of whether you would inherit a syndrome or not? Based on your parents' genetics, I think that's what we're talking about.
Basically if you have, like, a guy and a girl and you have XXYY, and you would do...
Yes,
X.
that is how you determine if you'd inherit a certain syndrome. Such as if you had one parent, it could be 25%, if 2 of them had it, 50%, blah blah blah, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
It depends.
Do you remember what it's called?
I don't know what it's called, no, but I do know its function, which is what matters.
Yeah.
I mean, titles alone don't matter too much, but understanding the concepts was what matters. For me, at least. I've actually had several people join the stream and hear you rambling on about genetics and leave.
Punnett square, that's what it's called.
They just join in here like, and then if you had an X chromosome, and then they're like, oh my god, science lesson. And they just left.
I'm out, I'm here for games, I'm out.
I didn't come here for a science lesson, I come here to avoid science.
I came here to get away from the science, it hurts me.
Learning is challenging.
It's called the Punnett
Or,
square.
I mean, they probably join in like, oh my god, they're discussing GCSE science, these idiots. Morons. I'm not watching these idiots, like they can't even find their own goddamn word choices, they're not talking about basic genetics.
They're all wrong.
Morons.
How dare they? Yeah, they're called alleles.
Alleles, Leslie. Do you know they can actually? There's a way of detecting how long you live for based off your alleles and its own rate of deterioration. I used to be someone to chat to a little bit more. My old guild in WoW. He had a proclaimed IQ 140. He was very intelligent, so I don't really dispute his natural intelligence. Whether he had an IQ 140 or is exaggerating, I don't know. That is a bit uncertain. It's speculation on that one. But I do know that he was talking a lot about alleles and their rate of deterioration and how it's measurable now. So they can literally determine how long you'll live for. Your max lifespan it can be determined.
You've been doing stuff without me.
I'm waiting for you here now anyway. Yes, they can literally determine your max lifespan based on the rate of alleles because they can only split a certain amount of times. Because as you're aware, they get shorter and shorter per asexual cell reproduction, and that is why you age. Each time you age, when they copy themselves, there's a chance that they'll have a minor deformity in its aging. In its very basic form.
Each time a cell reproduces, there's also a chance it could form into cancer.
Oh my god, it's awful.
What?
I was browsing on my other tab to look at the news, and some poor guy got stabbed in the eye by a bunch of glass shards. That's pretty grim. He essentially, there's a rather famous male in my country who's very, very far right wing called Tommy Robinson. and he got put in jail for hate speech. And essentially, some of his fans have been creating this movement called #FreeRobbie, even though it's more like #keep him in jail permanently as a prick.
No.
But nonetheless, anyway, this movement's going on, and as you can imagine, with a lot of protests, you have anti-protests as well, right? Obviously, opposing the same goal. And in one of these contradictory protests, well, someone was attacked. They were isolated and attacked.
Right.
By the Tommy Robinson supporters. They attacked him and smashed a chair on his head and stabbed him down with a bottle.
Jesus.
And now he's covered in blood.
That's
Now,
not
whether or not he provoked this fight, I don't know. So I'm very sceptical to take what the news provides me as a snippet and say it's the full truth, because they could extract a certain part of it, they could omit certain valuable facts, and they could often hide what would be a determining factor of me, the public's decision, and personal opinion. They might hide things that would influence me. I'm going to get a drink. I need to get a drink of water, considering you've been ranting on about Adelaide and science and other concepts which are somewhat abstract in nature and are probably very off-putting to people watching a stream.
Well,
I don't care, because I enjoy talking about it, but I'm sure they care. But oh well, fuck them.
I just like it. It's
I can tell. It seems to be a bit like a special interest to you.
It is. I really like it.
No, well, we can
I understand
we can
it
sit here research things together. I don't mind. I need to
There's
drink of water. Oh, before you go ranting about some other science topic, and we go down another science lesson, or like I said, memory lane about some topic I've forgotten. I'm going to take a glass of water before you begin.
Okay.
Then you may begin the ruminations of the mad lads, the musings of the mad woman. Back in a
Love you.
jiffy.
A Juffy.
Oh god. Oh. Oh, back. Fixations of the rabid mind. Although I could cut rabidness as well. Like, this winds me up. There's so many individual subtle word choices I could do that can change the entire meaning of a sentence.
Nah.
And I can't summarise them all in one quick sentence. I have to choose the one that's brought to the forefront of my mind first. And then I realise I'm really abusing a word. I'm saying it too often.
No, you're not.
Hmm.
There are some people who actually have C parents.
They're more science, only focus. You can return to this abstract topic later on.
Okay.
Later on. Stick me in a lab coat, give some glasses.
No.
I think you could be a pretty great science teacher, though. I mean, just you've got that bubbly kind of fascinated vibe about you.
God, no. No.
Students! It's like a kind of wizard just pops in, and you know, if you're a chemistry teacher, using some sort of chemical concoction, so you just create smoke.
No, I couldn't do that. I'd
Flash
hate
powder.
that. I would hate that so much.
Really? You hate being a science teacher?
I would hate being a teacher in general.
But I mean, obviously you've got all the work, the background work as well, such as creating the lessons and whatnot. But you get to teach next generation. That could be quite fascinating.
I'm sure, but it's not for me.
Why can't
I can't do it. There's too many people. They're yelling. They're screaming. They're being horrible.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it really depends on what level of education you're teaching at. Like, the maturity level will be determined by the year you're teaching.
I know.
Can you please check the audio for me one more time? Well, we're getting a surprisingly high amount of traffic tonight, just we're not maintaining any audience, which is peculiar. I'm not too sure why. There's something about our streams that's like something that we personally are not aware of that is rather off-putting to our stream.
Could it be me?
No, I wouldn't say that. You're probably a better character than I am.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're so modest.
No, I have a horrible voice. I sound like a fool.
Well,
it's good.
it's quite a juxtapose, having my deep voice and your high-pitched voice.
The audio is good.
I bet.
Maybe we just get some traffic for now, and then later on people start just staying.
You'll stay here. Just sticks on some constraints. You're staying right here. You're restricted. You can only watch the stream. I don't want to watch it. You're gonna watch it.
You can only watch the stream from now on.
You love this stream. Just mesmerizing them.
This stream is your favorite.
We know that you have words gone.
It's okay.
Whatever it was, it's gone.
Take your time.
I have now got an absence. A mental lapse has occurred.
Onwards, Moof. To joke about
Oh my god. I forgot I had this dodo.
It's not a dodo.
I know. It's a joke. I brought it up because you said in the past.
I still don't remember saying it.
I knew you'd be attuned to that one.
I don't get it.
Attune means you're paying attention for something particular. It means it resonates with you. You've got like a link to it. If I was an attuned student, it means I'm paying close attention. In that context.
That makes sense.
Vocabulary with
Super Moofulary.
We'll get you a more elaborate vocabulary.
Elaborate move.
It could be the content we're doing is kind of boring. Like they might tune in and they'll be like, "Oh, they're just questing. Oh, this is fucking boring," which is fine because it is pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie.
But I like it.
Of course, I mean, if we were doing like endgame content that's a bit more interactive or a bit more engaging, perhaps people would be more interested in watching it.
Maybe. I don't know though.
And the content you stream is very important.
Do you wanna stream Oxygen Not Included sometime? You can use my account if you want.
I'll have to pass. I'm not really a big fan of it. Like, I do enjoy the game, but to make that entertaining, I have to put on like a certain visage that I am not comfortable with. Like, if I want to play a game that I can naturally unleash my own personality, my own persona, without me having to force it. I don't ever want to feel like I'm having to force my persona to be entertaining. If that makes sense.
It does.
I want to relax and do what I find fun, and enjoyable. If I'm enjoying it, I'm putting on a better show for people watching it, right?
Well, if I have any games that you'd like to do, you can just have
I've got a game. But Monopoly.
I like Monopoly.
I'll play that. 2-player Monopoly.
Oh, what if we got the table simulator thing and we could do that?
If I had more friends, I'd create a boy versus girl Monopoly.
No, we could just do. Well, I have cake.
Wow. There's three people. 3 people Monopoly.
Well, I don't know if she has it though, actually.
She's a strange character. She is very, very eccentric. Very quirky.
Yeah. They always sounded angry when I talked to them before, because they had like a laptop mic, so it was just like, oh my god, Leslie. And
You two are seriously like a house on fire. Like you're like a riot when I see you two together.
I remember I got her into a Minecraft game, and then she started punching me. I'm just like, why are you hitting me? And she's like, I'm doing this because I love you.
You're just vastly angry all the time.
No, she's just like, I'm hitting you because I love you. I'm just like, that's not how it works.
I've been told we should focus on the main quest until it outlevels us, and then we should go back and do other quests.
Alright. I just saw some lightning.
Really?
Really?
Don't mind mocking you, like, that sounds dreadful. Unleash the downpour.
I've got a Malboy wanting to get in my lap.
I like a Malboy, he's cute.
Sorry, Malboy, it'll have to wait.
If I could, I'd get two web cameras. if I were in the same house right now, I'd have two web cameras, put one in the Malboy. With a corner stream somewhere.
Just Malboy angrily looking at it like "Murr, murr, murr."
He's pretty ferocious, isn't it?
I mean, he's angrily looking at me.
He's not had his daily affection, that's what it is.
I'll touch you with my foot, will that make you happy?
Disgusting.
Don't put your nose on it.
Disgusting.
Ah, don't bite it either.
That sounds really gross. Just, I can tell that in such a perverted way.
You want to bite my foot?
Why is your pet cat so aggressive? Why can't he just love you?
I was trying to give him attention, he was like, just bit my foot.
Look at my toes, they're so juicy. Ah! Oh!
No.
Disgusting.
No.
It wasn't meant in that way, you perverted animal.
I'm not.
First.
I didn't think like that.
You were like, no.
Yeah, because it's gross. Juicy.
A juicy big foot?
Is horrible. Ugh. No, stop. It's horrible.
It just quivers in front of you. Whoa.
No.
Got a real gnarly nail.
No, that's awful. Please stop.
Is it pretty repugnant imagery?
Very. Please stop.
I'm glad it's so repulsive to you.
It's horrible.
It means I've done my job right.
Malboy, stop. Not right now, okay? Please wait a little bit.
Day of the Malboy and Day of the Triffids.
He's very angry now.
You need to get him some sort of suspended cat bed and put it so it's like right nearby to you.
I picked him up after he crawled on that thing before, and now he's just climbing on it to try and get back to me.
Where am I? Move out of the way. Place yourself.
See?
Pet on head
I
for me.
picked him up from there once, and now he's just like, I gotta get up here.
Oh.
It's like,
Oh.
I gotta get up here to get to you.
Milk Rude. Here you go.
Moof fruit. Malboy, no. Just because you climb up there doesn't mean I'm picking you up.
It's still really, really warm. Like, oh, it's like a furnace in here. It's sweltering. Like, it's unbelievable how warm it is.
Right.
I can't believe it. I could sit in an oven, and it'd be giving me more a spite than sitting in this room right now.
No, that's not true.
What is that chilling sensation? Oh, it's just the oven behind me, the door open.
No.
Exaggeration.
That's not how that works.
It's exaggeration because I'm so bloody warm.
Oh.
My pores are sweating more pores.
That's not how that works.
It's called exaggeration humour, Wildless.
Oh.
What exaggeration humour?
Good tidings. Yeah,
No, I don't believe in good tidings. There's only average tidings and negative tidings.
But good tidings? No.
I absolutely adore this dodo.
I like how the music changes when you get on your chocobo.
Indeed. It appears it has some sort of trigger point. Well, the action seems to trigger it.
This is so nice. I can run away a lot faster now.
I remember hearing from Nadia on time ago there's some sort of quests, which are like trying like giant hunts or something. We get to ready trophy and go hunt down monsters.
Oh, strange.
Oh, what are these things? Oh my god. Like,
these are silks.
Oh.
These are the silks.
Oh, they're a lot more hospitable than the Ixal.
You have to dance at it.
Oh, do I? Alright, I'll show you my moves. Bust some fat moves, you know. Appreciate like that.
Ooh, cutscene.
Yay.
Oh, it's you people again.
At least address them by their proper titles.
P and A.
Jesus. That is an abbreviation. It's not like we're having A and E, P and E.
PA.
Sorry.
PA.
Why A?
Because her name starts with an A.
That's not a Y.
No, it starts with an A.
It's YDA.
No, it's AYA. There's a D in there.
No, it's YDA on my screen. I can literally see it.
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
Papillamo
PY.
and Ida.
Yeah, then it's
PY.
PY. Pi.
I quite like this music. It's got a certain eerie vibe to it, like it's so not.
Dun, 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 dun.
Pop that.
That's what it's doing.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't want to shut them up at you. Oh, you triggered me. Oh, you hit me right in the soft spot. You've jiggled my belly.
What?
Am I dismissed that?
Do I have to really dance for all of them?
Oh my dear God. I've got to become the jig master.
Oh my god.
I will become the virtuoso of dance and sound. With moves like this, my hips just don't lie.
No, but they're very curvy.
I have what?
Curvy.
Okay. That is not how I would describe my hips, but sure. I will take.
Oh, they could be curvy,
They could be, but they could also be bony.
but they're kind of curvy.
They could be the subject of atrophy for all you know. Atrophy,
They're
sorry.
not.
Words and Moof. They don't exist. I think I've spent more time correcting my dysfunctional sentence. It was like a pattern for me. I state a dysfunctional sentence, and then my next sentence is me correcting my incorrect sentence.
It's okay.
Cycle goes on. Cycle of
Those
life.
are not close. Cycle of Moof.
Error. And then correction. Error.
Error. 404. Correction.
Words not found.
404. Why do we have to dance for them all?
You'd think it'd be cold at 2 in the morning, wouldn't you? But no. It's definitely not. The heat intensifies.
It gets warmer during the dark.
Thank you for stating this obvious thing. Captain Obvious!
Captain.
It's getting warm in here. It gets warm in there.
Warmer in the dark.
I would do a spicy salsa for you.
A what?
A spicy salsa.
Ew. No.
That's how I express disgust.
Amixia. It's a horrible name.
Fix it. Fix it. Yeah, that's actually okay. No Lexi.
Did you not like my dance?
Lexi. Making friends with natives.
Dance away. Dance up.
Your hips don't lie.
But they shake. Apparently.
They jiggle back and forth in a pleasing manner. The hips of the move. I honestly, I wish my dodo could dance with me. I want to pick it up and present it to people like flaps their wings about.
It just caws at them.
Oh my god. Pecks them right on the nose, right on the very peak. Oh. Right on the apex of your nose. I'm on a precipice of making friends with the natives. God! Oh my god, what a filthy creature. Okay, I will.
Oh, it's so cute.
I'll change my approach. They didn't appreciate my pet feathered friend.
It's adorable. I made friends, I guess.
Oh my god. That is actually quite amusing quest text.
What?
I strongly advise you read that, makes you laugh. Heartwarming.
There's no curses, like cramps.
Darn these cramps.
Darn cramps.
Damn these cramps for 1,000 years in hell. No, my legs! Teleports them both. No!
That would be
Only the cramps, not the legs!
Not my legs, I still need those, just not the cramps.
Get next one back, it just gets to reattach them. No! Spare! Just dragging himself along with his legs in one arm. His other arm outstretched in front of him. Grasping on belly.
You need a leg up on this one.
I swear to God. If these brownie brushes are just literally brown brushes, I swear to God.
They have brownies on them.
No! These are rather horrible creatures.
Imagine if they are just like growing brownies.
That's fantastic.
It really does.
If only that existed.
It should.
One day I'll see, one day.
And one day it'll exist.
It might exist one day, for you know.
It might.
Never say never.
But I'm saying never because it needs a lot of ingredients and heat and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, did you already get it? Oh no, it's getting to me. No! Keep it away from it! Restrain
Are
it.
you tired?
Very. It's 2 in the morning. I'm very tired.
Do you want to go to bed?
No, I don't want it to bed because I've got into like. I don't know actually. I'm gonna finish doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna stream a bit more. I'm gonna fake it till I don't make it.
Well, you'll make it.
I'll get down the road one day. Get to the shop. I'm hungry.
You can do it.
Oh. Made a rotational error.
Moof.
Yes.
They're like giant
You need
lizards.
to fell
with
them all
power.
these giant beasts.
They're...
There you go.
Oh no, I can't. I just aggroed that one.
Problem solved.
Yes.
Are the briny bushes brown? They are not. They're just little glowing sparkles on the ground. Indicator where we might find one.
They're very sparkly, these brownie bushes.
Oh no, oh god. I could go for the longest nap. Right about now.
You mean asleep?
Asleep. I didn't know I took a sleep.
Yeah, you go to sleep at night, so it's a sleep.
Asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I've ever heard anyone refer to it as asleep. I'm gonna say you're asleep because it's a prolonged process rather than it being like instantaneous.
Yeah, but it's one sleep. You go to sleep one time each night.
Hold on.
Why are you saying hold on?
I don't think you can use it in that way. I will seek out the answer to that knowledge. Sleeping tips. I don't think I need any of those, thank you. I don't have insomnia right now.
Right at this moment, I don't have it.
Sleeping is a condition of the body and mind which typically recurs.
Typically, maybe not always.
I love how I love how it's worded as if it's a sort of negative occurrence. A condition. obviously I know conditions are always not entirely negative, but it's just how my mind is so accustomed to viewing it.
You know, they're not actually sure why we have to sleep.
They aren't?
No. They don't know why.
Well, it seems obvious, isn't it? It's just our time for our body to recuperate. Although I'm well aware, we say that, but at the same time, our brain could very easily store all and every single memory we ever see for us to recall when it's necessary, but it chooses not to. It only selects what is necessary information and records that.
Sometimes. Sometimes it just...
But yeah, we have no control of it particularly, but yeah.
Sometimes
I don't know, do you think maybe the whole idea of like sleep is more to like forcefully cause the being to take a break from what it's doing? It could also be quite integral to our brain's ability to organise and sort out various memories. Because if we were constantly taking new thoughts, perhaps the brain just doesn't have the ability to to categorise it properly.
It could be while it sleeps, you know, it obviously fixes the body, but...
Well, it does it anyway, that's been proven, but...
Yeah, but I mean, like, it could also be that it stores up the memories.
Well,
Figures out what it's gonna
I
keep.
believe sleep does have an impact on your long-term memory, so it is probably... what's relocating? Reallocating?
Categorizing?
No, reallocating, because it's already been stored once, so it's probably relocating it to various areas. I'm not too sure about the mechanism behind short-term, long-term, and any other type of memory that we currently have. I'm only familiar with the very basic of short-term and long-term.
Nah.
But I do know sleep, depression, and various other conditions have a huge impact on our ability to retain memories. And to create new memories, weirdly enough. I also know that if you do the same thing every day, you will not create new memories, and as such, you will only have a handful of memories about that particular task.
Nah.
Something to do with the way our neurons work.
If it's repetitive, it's not.
Of course, I mean, our brain stores information that's new and necessary for our survival. I don't think storing like 33 hours of Final Fantasy on playback memory is a particularly useful task.
I'd consider it useful.
Well, it might be to us now because we're not cavemen and we don't need to only know the very imperative bits of information. And as such, we can sort through it and determine what is necessary and what is not. Perhaps it's a mechanism of our less intelligent ancestors.
Please stop attacking me.
Where is this brownie bushes?
There's one near me, but I can't get to it because they're attacking me.
Okay, I'll do it while you get attacked. I'll buy some as well. Order.
Please leave me alone.
Made some friends.
They're not friendly. Why does this always happen?
If you find I'll have to deal with them. Then move.
I'd rather not, please.
Cut them down, Wildlars. Cut them down.
I don't have a sword.
Find them. Obliterate them. Disintegrate them.
I will stone them.
Perfect. Oh, my stream crashed.
I like rocks.
Going to hand the quest and go sleep after that, I think.
Alright. I still... Oh, it's off.
I'm extremely tough.
Oh, it's back on.
Good. I'm going to finish the quest and go sleep. We'll have a complete stream in which we accomplished exceedingly little.
But it's actually a lot.
Well, it's not. It's most definitely not a lot.
But
We could have done vastly more activities than what we've managed to squeeze into this 2-hour window.
Yeah, but we had to talk about DNA and stuff.
We didn't have to do that. We chose to do that.
We did.
We decided that the tangent was more important and vital. What? You know, to the stream's quality. So, this particular quest.
Because it is. It's good to know.
Okay, I've handed it in, and that's the end. Goodbye, stream. That was a great haul. Let me see how long it's been on for. 56 seconds. Wow. Amazing. Goodbye, stream. 56 seconds of quality. Your quality.